Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Gaelic Weekly Live. Tonight I'm joined in the sofa as always by irregulars, but tonight we do not have a special guest as the lads look forward to a fun-filled weekend of championship action. Lads, you're welcome.
Alright, how are you?
Good to see you all again.
Good to be here.
Usual Monday routine. We have to apologise for being a bit late. Marty was down in Dublin acting a big businessman, isn't that right, Marty?
Big business on Dublin.
Big business.
Yeah.
Busy man.
Yeah.
Busy,
Never stops.
very busy, yeah. Still got time for McDonald's and I have to
Stop it.
That's a man. I know the career's over.
yeah. That's it.
That's grand. Alright,
no
lads.
dietary requirements for sitting on sofas.
No lunch boxes, Marty?
No.
Never was with you though in Paris.
No. I would say that sounds very strict. Very strict with me diet, even when Germany playing days, you know.
Barry, you'll be taking care of yourself this week with a big game on Saturday.
Yeah, salads the whole way now. A bit of chicken and all that there, yeah. You know yourself.
You cheat now? Did you cheat between now and Saturday night, you reckon?
Made had a cheat the other day.
Did you?
It's
You
alright.
carb loading Friday and out fish and chips?
Huge.
Big
What do you
killer pizza.
have? What do you have when you wake up in the morning, Friday morning?
On Friday morning, go porridge.
Porridge, then?
Go to 24-hour shop and get the £2 salad, hard to beat, hey, so what is it?
£2.
Lad, it's huge though, hey.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is, good job, hey.
Anything special then Friday night?
Whatever we get after training.
Oh, training Friday.
So
Friday.
we're fed, you see, you know, it's the standard inter-county now, like, it's great.
Plenty of Jaffa cakes.
More porridge Saturday morning.
Yeah, that'll be it, and then just, you know, chicken and pasta, tomato sauce before
What
the
time
game.
do you have that on Saturday for games at what, 7?
What the
Chicken
feed,
pasta.
probably have it about, let's say, 3-4 o'clock. And right, that's generally 3 hours before a game. You
There
usually
you are,
feed
folks.
in.
That's the diet of
Champions.
supreme championship competitor, so take note.
I'm not starting mine.
Jib, over to you. Social media, it's not a question this week, but it's a competition to win this lovely
Glad to see
jersey
that.
behind me.
Yeah, lovely jersey it is.
It is. Indeed.
Yeah, all you have to do is tag 2 friends and share it. Share the live feed. Share the competition. So
Tag 2 friends.
Yeah.
And
Simple.
it's Kansas City.
Kansas
isn't it, right?
City. Oh, it's a lovely jersey. If you see it there now.
Yeah.
Very nice, huh?
Beautiful.
Folks, get sharing. That'll be announced next Monday on the show. The
You're not
winners.
going to win the small size. That's mine, but the size is very.
The stretch of it. Right, lads, we'll take a look. I suppose we'll go into the championship action ahead for the weekend in a few minutes. But the weekend gone by, I suppose there's been a couple of things happening in the Dublin Championship. Castle knocking out Plunkett's, Barry.
Yeah, second year in a row as well, Rory. Plunks be majorly disappointed now with losing out in that one. Actually looked like they were going to win it, and it was Castleknock that got the draw, you know, the point at the end, the draw in normal time, so they did. And then just seemed like we chatted about before, Plunks have quite an agey team now at this stage, like with the like Alan Brogan, Paul Gavin, you know, 30, 35, 38 years of age and all that, and just kind of seemed to show in the second half that the legs went. And fairness, the game was Rambic here in Kilkenny throughout, so it was. So another major win for Castleknock.
Very good.
Yeah,
Plunkett's were
right,
disappointed.
Did you see the scores? Siobhan from Limerick scored 110 as well for Castleknock.
That's right,
Chatting
yeah.
about teams
Limerick
last
man,
week
yeah.
about buying, well, so-called buying players. There's a Limerick man now coming in now.
Doing
European
the business,
110
yeah.
Championship debut.
You take it, hey.
You take it surely.
Yeah.
And then I suppose you look around, you see a thriller like that, but then I think it was Ballymun winning by 40 odd points against St Mary's. Which is
Wild.
It's crazy, like, I don't know what the story is. I don't know if that's the Mary's team came up from the B Championship last year or what the story is, like, but you know, it's a
big,
major tanking, like, you know, to come back from, I know they're out of the Championship now, like, but like, even just kind of come back in the league football after a loss like that would be major affecting your confidence.
It's a long year between now and next year.
8-18 to 2 points.
What's the score, Jim? 8-18?
8-18 to 2 points.
So obviously the early rounds don't suit everyone, or as Ballymun are a good side, to be fair.
They are, yeah, a lot of very good players now, but it's still a ridiculous scoreline.
It is,
18 to 2 points, 2 points, 60 minutes of football.
But it's we were talking about it last week about fixtures and things like that there, like that for that, for kind of running off these, and we'll be playing probably another championship match from now till likely late September.
Yeah.
Or October time.
Well,
strange way to run a
like.
competition, especially such what could be a great competition. That Dublin Championship, there's some great teams there, like potential All Ireland winners coming from probably 3 or 4 potential All Ireland winners.
I know as well about it, like, you know, when you're saying there, Jib, about different players from different counties coming in, I'd say that, like, if any players had, you know, championship games on within probably this weekend coming, I'd say a lot of players wouldn't have played for those clubs because they wouldn't have taken the chance, you know. So
And the date, as you said, Marty, like with that break, it dates back to what Aaron Kieran was saying to us last week, that that break in the championship, then if you were to win your Leinster, that you could maybe have 3.5 months to All Ireland semi-finals. But look, that's that.
Right.
We moved north to Derry, and I suppose some might have heard about it, some may not, but we'll take a look. Paddy's going to play a clip of the video here. We'll take a look at the controversy up in Derry. That's one of the greatest goals you've ever seen.
Took it well, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a great move. Like,
Terrific movement off the ball, I thought, and then the speed of the centre half forward.
A lot of space.
Yeah, it's
I
strange
don't
there
know
in Derry
space.
football there was that much space, like, to be fair, but worked well.
I said a few men in this room might have missed it.
You know
That
But no, so I suppose the story behind that then, boys, is just to explain to the viewers.
there seems to be an issue with the referee there in Glenollan. I think they chose not to field because of the chosen referee.
Previous
Suppose you're going back quite a few years ago, Jim, we were chatting beforehand about 2010 it was a club championship final, so it was, and whatever happened, whether the referee had a poor game or whether Glenollan lost or whatever the story was, suppose either there's an altercation between
One of the
Owen
Bradley, such with the referee, and then obviously with the fixtures, there was supposed to be agreement between Glenollan and the CCC that this referee wasn't supposed to take this fixture on it, and obviously there was a bit of a mix up in that there, and whenever Glenollan saw whoever the referee was going to be, they just decided not to take
Do you
the
think
field.
they're right to do that?
I don't think they're right now, because that's you're talking 7 years ago now at this stage, when people can referees, like we had it on before, Martin, on the show, like referees can make mistakes and things like that there, and you have to get over these things, and you can't. I don't think that should be any sort of agreement to say that a referee can't referee another game of yours at all. Like, but
I wouldn't mind doing a couple of deals with a few referees around Fermanagh now to get them to not referee our matches. They're probably thinking the same about us. If I can get away without refereeing Marty O'Brien this year, I'll be happy enough.
Be interesting to see what the people think they're watching the show.
Yes,
viewers think.
let us know, folks, what you think of that. Who's right, who's wrong?
Particularly if anyone from Glenollan or watching there, you want
to say what the story was.
Bit of clarity on the situation.
Maybe if the referee's watching. What happened?
Have you next week?
But he threw that ball straight to. I'm not surprised Glenollan don't like it. Straight to Luke, So like, maybe they have grounds. Like, 'cause it was definitely by his throw up. Like, there wasn't another man inside of it.
But aye, folks, look, get in touch with that. And so the last topic before we go into next weekend. Double All-Ireland winner or senior All-Ireland winner Joe McMahon from Tyrone retiring. A glittering career that probably, I suppose, at the end with a bit of injury, he had to call time on it.
Yeah. It's a blow to Tyrone, but it's another one of these things where the body has told him to give up at this stage. He's been kind of working hard to try and get back into it. It's a strange time for somebody to call time on their career, coming into the championship and that, but it's a blow to Tyrone, but I don't know if they'll be counting him in their plans this year as
he's still there, he was there for a reason.
Well, I know it was originally like a groin injury that was giving him the major issue, and then I know last year when he was with Roma, he had a bad injury to the hamstring as well. It just took him a long time to get over, and I suppose having a guy like that there, I know Sean Cavanagh's in a different, because he's still playing a lot, but to have that experience regardless, because Tyrone are still a fairly young team, so to have a guy like that there that's won 2 All-Irelands just to kind of be within the match day squad and all that there.
Cavanagh's the last man hanging on now from the 05 team.
Hanging on is a bit.
He's the last man still around. I'd say he could hang on for another few years.
Definitely. But not here. The man had a glittering career, as you said, Rory. So unfortunately he couldn't finish out this year with Tyrone, but
good luck to him.
That's two boys away now in 2 weeks. Monroe away last week and Big Joe away this week.
Under different circumstances though, isn't it?
Different circumstances. Then I suppose something that really stands out with Joe McMahon was being one of the two to mark the twin tires. and they were famous all
I saw that today.
and done a great job against two boys that were really on top of their game at the time.
Definitely, well.
It was good the way there was the brothers in there as well.
brothers,
They knew each other and said what way to play them as well, didn't they?
But
But
Tommy also that scared. He had to go to Australia.
And you know, but look, still I suppose probably still time to play with them. St Andrews are a good side. I mean, it's only 2 years since they were in an Ulster final. We were watching them a good few times that year, and he'd probably still be very much pivotal then.
Yeah, if you can get the injuries cleared up, like hopefully he'll be fit to plug away with the club for
So
a year.
we wish him the best of luck.
Yeah.
Alright, we move on now to the weekend preview, and we're taking a look at Leinster and Connacht first off. 3 games in Leinster in the first round. Louth versus Wicklow at Parnell Park. Marty, Louth, the good league. How do you see that one?
Yeah, it definitely did have a strong league, and just disappointing probably for them to lose in the Division 3 final. But I think they can definitely build on that, and will take Wicklow this weekend. I'd imagine I'd be fancying, because Wicklow didn't have a great league campaign at all. You know, normally they would have their stronghold in Auckland there, and they banked the home points, and they lost a few home games this year surprisingly, and they don't seem like a team that's going too well at all. You know, whereas Louth on the other hand will still be buoyed from their promotion, even though they did lose the final. But I'd fancy them to take Wicklow this weekend.
yeah, big blow for them as well. There was the Derek McGuire, he was their 2016 Player of the Year. So he's gone over to the States for a few months to play ball. So it's a fairly big blow. I don't think it'll have a major impact on the game itself, because I would reckon now will take Wicklow. But again, championship day is hard to know. Like Wicklow, they're a strong outfit, so they're quite big, strong, athletic lads. So they're like in the Shawnee Furlong going well this year as well, and full forward for them. He's a danger. So he is. I mean, playing against him in a Division 4 final in Sweden, he's a superb footballer. So he is, but. Again, I just think Louth will take that. So
it's disappointing to lose a man from your panel like that there.
It's a bit strange, but I suppose it's the whole attraction of the whole.
It is, but even with Tyrone there losing those 2 players, it's you know, you can feel an effect on the squad. You know that there, because like this is the time of year when you're mad to play football and you're mad to get out and even train. I do go to county train and do that there, but if people start chipping away at that panel, you know, lose 1 or 2 men here, it can have an effect. Like, but it's just one of them things. There's a big kind of a draw to America there for club and county players. Like, so it's
So Louth go through there. The next up is Laois versus Longford in Port Laois. Laois probably, Laois. I think when I look back at the noughties, Laois were always a decent side to watch. They've now been relegated to Division 4, isn't that right? And they were up against Longford.
Yeah, well, we only played Longford there recently enough in a friendly match, and I was very, very impressed with them. So they were very good outfit. So I know they were away in a training camp a couple of weeks ago as well in Portugal. So they're taking the whole thing very, very seriously.
Portugal, hey?
Yeah, that's what most counties are at now. Like it's crazy. Like everyone seems to be at it nowadays. I know actually Mickey Hart was saying he'd never expect a Tyrone team to do. They were down Dublin or down Kildare, so they weren't. He just thinks it's too. He said himself he thought it was too much, for people, families, and all that to make a commitment for a week or whatever. But going back to the point, like I think for me Longford for that one there, just I suppose with the way Laois's season has went, with another relegation, that's 2 in the bounce now, so it is. And as I said, I think Longford's an upcoming young team, so I would give them the nod for that there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like, because I would say probably over the last few years, Laois probably had the better of the. Well, they probably would have had them. They'd be considered the stronger of those 2 sides. Like, but they've still got some quality players there. We talked about Donny Kingston earlier on in the year. Like, he was one of the top scorers in the league, and he's got quality. Like, and he'll take watching. Like, they're not a bad side, Laois, but again, we were talking about Louth being buoyed from the league, and Laois probably from the same token will be on the downer. But I'm going to go against Barry here. I think Laois will take Longford this again. Yeah.
I go Longford as well.
Alright, whatever.
That's alright.
More stuff, thanks, Chip.
You're relegated for a reason.
Well, that's a fair point. It wasn't that long ago Barry was dishing out big hits against Laois.
Yeah.
In the qualifiers. shirt.
That's right, yeah.
If anyone wants to YouTube that, you can see the main man next.
Yeah, he was utilising just that extra wee bit of power.
Power.
Extra wee bit of power he had back a couple of years
Extra
ago.
couple of kgs, maybe.
He's left that behind him.
I think he might be fit to dish out one or two you have to say.
We'll see if
Hey,
salty.
back to the Glenollan match.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a great comment. Con O'Hanlon. If Peter Canavan could play again with Paddy Russell refereeing, I'm sure Glenollan can get over that and play a league game.
Paddy Ross, the referee in 95.
95, aye.
Famous
Blew him
scoop
up for
along.
picking the ball off the
Canavan
ground.
scooped it along the ground.
Never off the ground.
Are you serious?
Not be good.
No way.
He got the toe under it, did he?
No,
It wasn't on the
bounced
ground?
I
up.
was just laying on the
Oh,
ground.
He done a wee bounce and he just barely got the hand
Right.
and thrown with the equaliser and then he disallowed it.
Oh no. There was some
Broken
controversy
by
with Charlie Redmond
It's
that
like
day as
we're
well,
gonna
wasn't
get-
there?
After he was sent off and he
He
stayed
didn't
on the
go
field
off.
for another 3 minutes.
That's
Did he
right.
kick the point after that, did he?
They might have set one up, I think.
Aye.
What was going on that day?
No.
What
Referee
was the
had the
story?
truth.
And all this is just going straight over Murray's head.
We just well, Jim, you've had your rant now.
Yeah.
But thanks for that. Now, Conor
Not a bother.
that's not a bother. Alright.
Yeah.
Last game in Leinster this weekend then, Carlow versus Wexford. The winners play the Dubs.
Yeah.
So who do we fancy for?
I think Wexford will take this one, probably take it easily enough. I know Carlow didn't have they had a strong enough Division 4 this year,
Yeah.
but Wexford were the first team promoted of all the teams in the leagues this year, and Seamus McEnany had them in great form early on in the league. They kind of seemed to dip off then and ended up losing the Division 4 final, but I'd imagine that was a strategic enough dip off. They would probably went back to the pre-season when they had the chance, and they'll be gunning for Carlo. But I'd say Banty probably just has a few ideas up his sleeves for the Dubs, but
I'd probably be looking to put it in the practice, won't he? Against Carlow to an extent, like.
Yeah.
But I can hear
it's
it.
hard. The Leinster Championship is hard because it's just been so one-sided. I think Dublin are going for 7 in a row this year, and
Realistically, there's only Meath and Kildare that's
Meath and Kildare,
possibly going to
yeah.
put anything up. Maybe Westmeath to an extent for a bit, like. But it's
Yeah,
this sort of thing. Is how long can you stick with the Dubs? They
The
can.
way they're going to get 17 in a row.
That's the way it's looking like.
they're strong. Like the Leinster Championship really needs to could do with a bit of action from Meath and Kildare. We've talked about this a few times, like, but I think that both teams are coming a bit stronger.
They are without
But
doubt, yeah.
it probably is like, just looking at these fixtures here and thinking back to the league finals that we raved about. That Louth took part and the Wexford took part. I mean, there were some of the fantastic games.
Yeah.
And some of the best we've definitely seen this year. So, if the like of Wicklow and Carlow can show up, you can be in the open, free-flowing games that.
We were kind of saying that though when it comes to the league final stage, it's kind of like you're happy to get that extra game, and you're trying maybe different things out that you won't be doing as much in championships. It's going to be yourself, especially first round in any championship. It's always going to be cagey enough. Like,
and you get over the hurdle, and you're like. You'd imagine if you were really seriously thinking about Leinster, then the one thing you'd be training towards all season would be, although you have to take your other opponents seriously, but the day you meet the Dubs is the day you're going to win Leinster.
Have some sort of plan.
You got to have some sort of plan, and you can't just turn that on the day. So if it is a case where Wexford and Carlow go out to play each other in preparation for how they're going to play against Dublin, I could see that one. That could end up being terrible.
One thing though, when you
2-1 or something.
when you say that though, like Kildare last year against Westmeath, they had this whole plan. They had Cian O'Neill had it all set up what way they were going to approach the Dubs.
Westmeath
done them like.
Yes,
That's
so that's you have to take your immediate opponent seriously.
That's
like,
the thing, like.
Yeah.
But like you said, everyone's kind of plan.
You do have that, because there's a lot of counties in Leinster kind of rightly or wrongly kind of sticking more to traditional kind of setups and things like that. There were in Ulster there was an embracing of the defensive systems from the get go nearly. Like once this idea of bringing men back and stuff, Ulster teams kind of seemed to embrace it straight away. There's teams Leinster in Leinster that were saying we're not going out to do that. Some teams are starting it now, like, but it wouldn't have been. They would never have been thinking defensively along the line that we swamp the Dubs out here, we might have a chance. I know Westmeath were one of the teams that did take it.
And they'd kind of work for a half, so it did, and then just again, like we say, the strength and depth and play. You can only keep up that intensity of defending for so long.
It worked for them.
Cracks,
they were in 2 Leinster finals in a row as well. Which is kind of
You kind of wonder, you kind of wonder, like with Westmeath too. The two things they got, they was playing a really good brand of football and high scoring, and then when it comes to that game, you completely go away from it, don't you? But here, the Dubs kind of do that against you.
Dubs do that, so look, I suppose you're tipping Wexford to go on there to be playing the Dubs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And beat the Dubs too.
We beat the Dubs too. There you are. Big prediction. That's the three. I suppose we had a good reaction all week from the 45 challenge, where we seen a young and a skilled footballer doing it last week. Train it. Well, 1 out of 3 is not bad. So this week, inter-county goalkeeping coach Fergal Murphy had a go at the 45 challenge. Paddy's going to show us now how you get on.
Keep the faith strong, your time to shine will come. You're in a race so long, it's time to get in front. We'll get through, how you got to whip, you got to run.
Okay, so another fair enough effort from Fergal Murphy there. 1 out of 3, but he still doesn't top Davon from last week because Davon
got the one from the left hand touchline, and he got the one from the left hand touchline, didn't he? Davon, I think last week's, which was a harder kick as well. But
that's big points on the water for that. Or the bar.
Did not get the one up the middle, was it?
Was the one up the middle?
We'll review it. He still didn't do it.
Davon's still ahead.
Yeah, because
he done it quicker. So
Murphy, poor effort for a goalkeeper. He should be nailing all 3.
I should be picking them.
Not a bother.
He's retired now. So he's
finished.
He's still a young man.
He's still a young man. Concentrating on the coaching. But folks, be sure to have a few more goes at that. Send them in. Hopefully somebody can be hitting 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3.
I might have to polish up the 45.
Left foot.
You'll only use a key.
No. We might take you maybe.
If somebody shouts in the background, can you move it in 15 metres?
Jib, any
yeah, we do have a question from a Cork man here, Paul Condon. What do you think of the state of Cork football at the moment? Then he says would you fear us if you came across us in the championship?
Who's
Paul Condon, he's a Cork man.
Who's he referring to as in championship, I suppose?
Tyrone from Anna. I said, as Tyrone, I said no. I think if Tyrone met Cork in a big field, as they probably would, it'll have to be in Croke Park if they do meet Cork. And Tyrone would rip them apart, I think, with their pace and their power.
Disappointing enough league for Cork this year.
Seems to be a lot of, I don't know, going by reports on a lot of in-house issues more like there seems to be an issue with the hurling side of things as well. It just seems to be an inter-county, a senior setup and all that there. Mind you, we played them like, and they destroyed us like, but that was, we were missing quite a few players and different bits and pieces and travelling and all that. Not making excuses, but obviously with then all the results they had in we were thinking at that stage, that they were going to bounce on and probably get promoted back to Division 1, and kind of was nearly a case that they nearly got relegated by then. But it's hard for us to really comment on Cork football, in terms of the club scene and all in there. We wouldn't really have too much knowledge on it, but I know when we said they still have a few fantastic players, like like Kerrigan and all playing there. There was solid midfield, and it's hard to know what's wrong with them at the minute. Really, like to me, just kind of reminiscent about Cork, their Division 1 outfit. They always have been in my book. The pick of players that they have between both codes, kind of both go between hurling, football and hurling and things like that. There, so.
Well, they're building a fantastic new stadium in Park Equine. It looks absolutely stunning. Maybe that's a kickstart again.
Whenever they see you carry man going up the steps there this year, might spur them on, But I suppose that last season was really disappointing season for Cork. Getting relegated from Division 1, and then on top of that, getting beaten by Tipperary in the semi-final of Ulster, and then losing their automatic seeding to avoid Kerry. Then they ended up avoiding Kerry anyway, so it'll be a massive match for them this year against Tipperary. And Tipperary, we talked about a few times, are a great side, so I think that'll be a good barometer of what shape Cork football's in if they can turn Tipperary over in the semi-final this year.
Paul
So
says
what's
he
the
says
space?
he says he knows that they're struggling at the minute, but the fact now the top counties don't fear them anymore just shows how much they follow.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a
you know,
fair
he has a
point.
point.
But you know,
Yeah,
as Aaron
definitely.
Kieran discussed us last week, you know that can happen at club level.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose you probably don't see it as much at county level, but maybe it is happening.
Well, I know it seems to be going in recent history in terms of they used to be very strong under 21. Chancellor teams that they got to a lot of All Ireland finals and contests, and you know late in the year for that there, and then they could absolutely destroy minor level by Kerry there recently.
Yeah,
enough,
they
so
did,
they
yeah,
did,
during the week.
be it well by Kerry again in the
The
under 21 as
finals,
well.
yeah.
You know, so like don't get me wrong, obviously Kerry's fantastic always at that level, so there, but Cork's always kind of given them some
They were,
stage. You know.
under 21s in particular. Cork
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
strong.
have been strong. It just
Probably
doesn't
one of
seem
the
to be-
strongest records in the country, maybe. But
It doesn't seem to be transparent in the seniors, which can happen to any county.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but it just seems like still like I wouldn't say Cork's in the AG squad by any means. You know,
see, since they've got that many clubs and that many players coming through, they should be able to have a youthful enough set up
about
there
it,
as well.
yeah.
I think that this match against Tipperary could be it would be it's a strange thing for Cork football saying that the biggest game they'll have now will be this game against Tipperary. Whereas traditionally it would have been like, well, let's just roll into the final and play
Yeah,
Kerry and let's see what we can
Kerry,
do against them.
But just on that there, Con's asking us the question there, maybe if he has any sort of kind of ideas or thoughts himself as in the way he thinks it might be good to
Well,
give
that's
his
it. So
feedback.
I think watch the space as regards the tip match anyway.
But
Yeah.
Paul reckons I don't think the best players are being picked for both codes.
So that's what we were saying. It's an issue. There's obviously a politics issue there with management or clubs or something or other.
There is that, I think, going on down there all the time, but it's so vast. Like we're kind of it's alien to us up here in Fermanagh. We've like 18 clubs or whatever to sift through to try and get 30 men. Whereas they've got hundreds,
But
hundreds of clubs.
But even on that point, for anybody not going well, you're always going to get people. No harm to Paul. You're always going to get people who are saying they're not picking the right players.
Well,
Yeah, but that's
it.
true,
I mean,
yeah.
you go back to when Sean O'Halpine, Abertlain, Erlin O'Cusack, when they were striking and all this stuff was going on, and then that was with great teams.
Yeah.
And they were going on then to win All Ireland, stopping Kilkenny's 5 in a row and all that kind of thing. So I mean, look, it seems to be a common enough issue down there.
Yeah.
Jib, anything else, or will we move
What
on?
about Gerard McKiernan? He wants to know, can you ask Roy why did he get sent off last weekend?
He got busted. That's right.
There you go.
For his own safety, Grove.
No comment, Grode, but I might follow you up on a few incidents that you've been involved in the past, maybe. Okay, we'll move on. Thanks, Grode, for that. We'll move on.
Pádraig Farley is just doing a point as well, just when we were chatting about Fergal Murphy and goalkeepers. He just says Stephen Cluxton scored 6 pointed frees in the 2003 All Ireland quarter final. That is an all time record for any goalkeeper. Greatness.
That's what he should be coming out with. Thanks very much.
Come on, Pádraig.
03, it wasn't really a common thing for keepers to be at that sort of crack back then.
No.
No,
2003.
he started it off. No, 2013. basically.
I did. Sorry, don't worry about it.
I was an under 12 match.
Another famous slip for Jib. Alright, we'll move on. Jib will rescue you. We'll move on to Connacht now. Mayo versus Sligo live on RT on Sunday at 2 o'clock. I suppose some of us here have tipped Mayo was having another big year. Obviously Sligo are up against it. Barry, what's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, well, I tipped Mayo would have a fairly good year. I expect them to get at least the semi-final of the All Ireland, if not the final. And I tipped them to win Connacht as well this year.
In Castlebar, of course.
Yeah, it's just cases said like in the previous shows that they're all out to kind of retain their title. That's been pretty much theirs over the last 5-6 seasons. So as obviously got sucker punched last year by Galway. We had a fantastic performance against them, but I would expect Mayo just to see it through. But obviously, I suppose generally sometimes you say in championship ball, whenever you have a game under your belt, it's kind of seen as a benefit to you. But it was against New York. You can't really say in terms of how much they got out of that. Really,
Sligo have a holiday under their belt.
They have a holiday under the belt. Yeah, exactly.
That's probably unfair in New York.
It is. But it's hard to see. I suppose Sligo were missing a few of their key boys against New York. But I know a lot of the younger lads had their exams and all that there on the Monday, so they couldn't play over New York. But they're coming back in. But at the same time, is it really enough to get over the Mayo challenge?
I don't think it is. I think that from the reports coming back from New York that it was like of
Mark
Breheny and Adrian Marr again, who were pulling Sligo out of the fire. Like, and if you're looking to, I know they're both quality players. Like, you know, if you're relying on your two, you know, charismatic forwards, you know, the experienced players to put out against a team like Mayo. Like, they have the personnel in the defence to
look after them too.
Well, Marty, I suppose it's hard, you know. Sligo are playing, Sligo have a mediocre Division 3, you know, against a team. I suppose Mayo are up and down, but, you know, Mayo are still able to, you know, put up the dubs, go up to Tyrone and get a win. You know, that's a hard
Mayo,
team. Like,
they're not going away. Like, they're still a quality team. Like, you know, they're just on the road so long. I don't know if they're going to be able to push it get over the edge. You know, with this team have been on the go since 2011. James Horn's first year, was it, that they went and won those 5 Connachts in a row, and they've been in. Well, I think they've been in the semi-final or the final every year the last 6 years. Like, they've lost 2 semi-final replays and 3 All-Ireland finals. This team, like, a lot of the players have been involved in all those matches. Like, it's just on the road so long.
I suppose when you look at Mayo as well, I suppose at the league as well, they didn't have Lee Keegan for a lot of it. You know, with him being involved in intermediate All-Ireland, and in terms of Aidan O'Shea as well, he was injured for quite a lot of weeks. That's 2 of your major players. Like, come the end of the year that they were without, you know. So for a lot of it,
they like rebranded himself or something. Aidan O'Shea when he came back too, didn't he? Then he got this new beard and all. He's
still kind of falling over and all that though.
A couple more points here. Just well, Kieran Mulroney's picked Mayo to beat Sligo and Galway to win Connacht.
He knows nothing.
Then Dara Gallagher's come in and said, good point. Did it suit Mayo to go to the back door route?
I said it whenever the Galway beat them last year. I think that there's the best thing that could happen to Mayo. You know, to just get a chance. Every year they were going out and they were playing. You know, like was it 2 years ago that they put 6 goals past Sligo and they were walking through Connacht, and then they were getting up to the quarterfinals. Right enough, they were getting there every year, but they were never getting challenged, you know, and they were never seeing anything different. You know, it always ended up that they walked through Connacht and then they got a good hard quarterfinal and a good hard semi-final.
They say with last year's, I suppose it'll be different this year. But Stephen Rocher's first year last year, he's trying out a lot of different things in the league, and it didn't happen for them against Galway. But it kind of got to build on each thing he wanted to work on every game. You know, and they eventually.
Momentum,
I know they struggled against us for long periods in the second round match, and then obviously they finished up strong against us. Dubious. We're not cool there, Marty. It's in the past now. We let it go.
I've let it Marty's head. Not Marty's head.
But you know, I suppose again, like every game after that, they're the kind of the wee bit more fluidity. They knew what they were at. They were getting better and better and better. And whilst, you know, again, as we said, with the kind of delay in fixtures and things like that, you know, if they had won, you know, Connacht, they would have had a major break until they got the last 16 games. You know, so
it had done them well in terms of all Irons. It had done them no favours winning Connacht. Obviously, they were still in the semi-finals and finals, but.
If you're
I think a run in answer to the question, a run in the qualifiers is good for a team. You know, it can build momentum, like, you know, like the provincial champions.
Many teams have won
from the
qualifiers.
I know.
Well, Tyrone done it, Galway done it.
Yeah.
The Galway did?
Tyrone, Kerry and Galway maybe. I think Kerry done it from beating it.
Kerry did do it.
Kerry 04 possibly.
From
well, actually, I think it could possibly no.
They nearly got beat by Sligo. It was the time that O'Shea and Gooch went on their separate drinking mission that the word came out about there a few weeks ago from the Gooch retired. But Sligo nearly beat them that year, and then it went on to win All Ireland. Just can't put the year on it now. But
so what do we fancy Mayo then by?
You want an exact number?
Roughly, give me a 2 point. 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'd say 6
I want to say 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
6 points or so.
5 points.
5 points. Very good. Okay.
Just chatting about fancy there. A few people think some boys must fancy themselves. Just my mother would love to know what brand of makeup is Mr. Roy Raff wearing tonight, as he looks flawless.
You're getting good.
I had a go at Jeb earlier, folks. I thought he was in bad form. And
keep them comments coming.
He's picking on me since. Anything else worthwhile there, Jeb?
Callum McCaffrey just says Moseley was held scoreless in a London Challenge game versus Waterford at the weekend.
Right.
Is that true?
London debut.
Right. So is he? Yeah, so he's going to be
Oh, he is available.
Well,
Yeah, he is sort
I
of.
think that just the way Raf glossed over that last question, he's not giving away any secrets here, are they?
I don't know. There's definitely no makeup in his neck. Because you can see clearly from his shirt collar that there's nothing happening there. So it's all natural, I think.
Can't give away the trade secrets now.
Oh, right.
Jim, going ahead there, you're going to say something?
No, carry on now, Roy, carry on.
That's grand. We'll move on to Ulster, and we have a short video previewing 2 games, one Saturday, one Sunday this weekend. So, Paddy, cue the Ulster video and we'll have a look at what's coming up this weekend. Okay, so looking ahead then to Monaghan versus Fermanagh on Saturday, Donegal versus Antrim. Monaghan, Fermanagh, of course the winners play Cavan, so Garode, she might come up and pay us a visit before that game, and if Barry doesn't get a rapid yet in the next round, sure.
I want to get a bite on the shoulder too.
I want to get some on the shoulders, alright. But
I wouldn't like a rap from Garroy, don't I?
no, neither would I. Come here, Monaghan versus Fermanagh, so we say the winners play Cavan, but first off on Saturday night, Barry, we'll ask you for your views and how things are going. Marty, serious Monaghan forward line, you did Jack McLaren and Fermanagh leaking goals.
Yeah, well, from the league, you know, and I suppose we're always going back to the league now because it's the only thing we have to kind of relate to at this stage. But teams like Fermanagh and we mentioned Laois earlier, it's very easy to just say let's forget about the league. And in all fairness, from my own experience, when you're coming into to train for the championship, there's nothing in your head thinking about the league.
Okay.
You know, and I think that Fermanagh leaking goals during the league won't be an issue at this stage because they'll have worked on that. One would imagine, like between.
Can you turn around that quickly?
Well, you can definitely work on it. You can look back at the videos and you can pinpoint some. Maybe it's positional, maybe it's a kind of personnel changes, maybe it's something. But you can definitely work on it and you can tighten it up. Maybe you need to change the strategy altogether and start bringing more people back into the defence to try and close up the gaps. But it's something you can work on anyway. And I would imagine that it's something that they would work on. But they've got a massive task on their hands on Saturday evening in Clonus against a strong Monaghan team. Who have been probably one of the most consistent in Ulster. They have been the most consistent in Ulster probably the last 4 years. They've been in 3 finals and they were beaten 1 semi-final replay. So they're showing that they're a strong team.
A lot of others tip on them too. Even the Gooch tipped them to be a surprise package and for the whole All Ireland even.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's just that they probably not getting the credit they deserve. Because they haven't done it in Croke Park. They haven't won that All Ireland quarter final, which they've lost a couple of times to Tyrone, and I think Dublin beat them 1 year as well. And then last year, obviously, they had a disappointing exit against Longford. But that's well and truly lying them now.
It's probably a surprise because people talk about Ulster football, tactical being hard and all that.
Yeah.
I suppose Monaghan are probably a gritty, nasty enough team, and they have been able to get over the line in Croker against other county.
Part of the problem is with this kind of bogey team Tyrone had over them. They've seen that they've beaten Tyrone a couple of times in the last few years now, so they've kind of put that behind them in some respect. But then meeting Dublin as well is obviously a big task, but. It's definitely something that they'll be targeting. Obviously Ulster is first up for them. But it's something that they can have in the back of their heads at the start of the season. We need to get back to Croke Park and we need to get that big win in August. Yeah.
Well, traditionally, I suppose, Jib, maybe you can expand it too. People talk about Ulster being so competitive and like that there, but I suppose Monaghan and Fermanagh traditionally would have been. Rivals, next door neighbours, always from our experience a tight game, you know, whether it's in Clonus or Brewster or wherever it was, that gap has probably widened in the last few years. You know, will they be looking to Cavan next, realistically?
Monaghan? I think so, I just think they're too strong. Jack McKern's been real fine for them, Conor McManus is still there. Saying that, you've got Darren Hughes injured in at the minute, but
he is, yeah. I wouldn't think that they'll be looking over.
No, they'll take Monaghan.
I don't think so. I don't think you can afford to do that against this Fermanagh team. Like, Fermanagh are strong. They're a strong outfit. Like, and there's quality in, you know, every line of the pitch there. You know, and Donnelly, they've got like arguably the best midfielder in Ulster, and they've got up front Tomas Corrigan and Sean Quigley, who are, you know, two very good scoring forwards on their day, who do take serious, you know, looking after. And
they'll definitely not take from on lightly, not just O'Rourke there as well. Like,
no, definitely not. I don't think they could overlook Fermanagh by any stretch of the imagination. They'll obviously, in your own head, you know, if you're fancied, and you'll know that from in the last few years they've been playing Division 1 football. They're used to playing teams who are a couple of tiers above Fermanagh. They're, you know, they've rubbed shoulders with the Dubs there only a month ago or 6 weeks ago, and they really put it up to them. You know, they know they've got, when they're going well, they've got the potential to be, you know, to mix it with the best teams in Ireland. Whereas they'll also know in the back of their heads that if you're not on it, and if you're not, you know, going 100%, then Fermanagh will take you as well. You know, because even it's not that, probably not with this crop of players for either team, but, you know, probably throughout the early noughties and the 2000s, Fermanagh would have had a few wins over Monaghan. You know, it's probably since 2010, I think that Monaghan beat Fermanagh well in Ulster semi-final, and then again 2015 maybe was it, they beat Fermanagh.
Last 10 minutes, remember?
Yeah, they beat Fermanagh in Ulster semi-final. But before that, I think Fermanagh probably had a reasonable record in the 10 years previous to that against Monaghan. You know,
Barry, you're looking forward to it. Obviously, I mean, first round or preliminary round of Ulster, it's always something you could cheat up for, I'm sure.
Oh jeez, yeah, it's hard to believe it's a year round already and Championship's back again, but that's what you live for. That's what we've been training for since, you know, Christmas and all that. They're slogging it out up and listening and all that there, and just honestly can't wait now till 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Good, we'll all look forward to it. Best of luck. We move on to Sunday then. Donegal versus Antrim, Division 1 versus Division 4, again going back to the league. Donegal an embarrassment of riches. Steve McBrearty actually, I think, is going to America this summer,
right?
Which is very, you know, just when you're talking about the appeal of it, it's before we get into the match, it's you know, a really promising player since I remember seeing him minors a few years ago. It's a strange enough move, is it?
Went well for the under-21s as well. This year he, I suppose he's looking at it like, and he's realistically thinking, am I going to get as much game time as one, because the player of the ability of Steve McBrearty is going to be wanting to be starting all inter-county games, so he is, and just that I think with the way Donegal is at the minute with that, I think he's been kind of playing in the half forward, half back line, you know, and that's two of their strongest, you know, lines in their team, so it's so they're trying to break into that there, like. And again, we said about this, he's only 20, 21 years of age, and we've chatted about it, and it's like, you know, again, the draw of America, you know.
He's probably thinking this is my one and only time now to go.
That's it.
Next year onwards, he's probably going to be a starter in that team.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to come around the corner if he does end up having a good season for Donegal, if he was to stay, and then he had, you know, a long career with Donegal, that he might never get the chance to go to America. And it's a big draw, like, and it's something probably the GA needs to look at over you know, on the whole. Like, is it like, it's great, it'll be great for, you know, young people going out there and that there, but when you've got rural clubs and things like that suffering from players going out and on a whatever kind of a deal they get out there, you know, it's something possibly to be looked at, you know.
It is, but I suppose, like, you know, we will get into the game, but, you know, we don't know the reasons that people do go. I mean, a lot of people go to work and to find work. You know, it's maybe not just as simple as going for a couple of quid to play football or have a party for the summer.
I suppose it's the experience. You know,
and again,
I know we said like it would have been something that I would have loved to have done. Like, but you always feel like, you know, you said there, Jib, like, you know, he may feel this is his last opportunity that he has until he's going to be 20. He's going to be off underage football now. Next year he's going to be just completely senior affiliated, and it's just a case of, you think if you miss 1 year of inter-county when you're that age, that's you. That's sometimes mindset of players, like, but fair play to him, like, you know, he's one of don't mind. He's like, you know, I know Rory spoke to him and said, you know, it's your own decision and all that there, like, and I suppose it's a massive commitment for the full summer. Like, and if you're not getting as much game time as you think or want, it does affect you mentally. Like, you know, it's tough. Like, when you're doing all that training, you're not seeing the game time you may think you deserve. Like, and especially I know he was going well with his club there as well. And you just, if you're playing that well, you think you should be playing. If you're not getting the game time, you have to make these decisions. Like, and there's other ways that aren't even going travelling, they're just leaving panels for that reason, you know. So he's
fair enough. Okay, well look, I'll not dwell on any more. Into the actual game itself then, Donegal are real embarrassed from the Riches, home in Ballymaffey. Barry, they're
can't really see anything other than a Donegal win, to be honest with you. It's just like,
well, Fitzsimmons, is there something up his sleeve with Antrim, or?
I think Antrim will probably be competitive, but, you know, I think that they've still got some quality players on the panel. You know, they're still, you know,
I don't think they're any real match winners.
But the thing is,
like, there is so. I think that the biggest thing that's struggling is the speed of this Donegal team. Like, they've gone from their, you know, in the McGuinness era, that their defensive unit and how well structured they were and how, you know, good they were at getting the right man in the right position to put the ball over the bar. You know, it seemed that they never took a shot unless it was going to be a point for McGuinness. Now their speed just seems to be
their transitions.
It's been frightening, and really, even last year, definitely 2 years. You know, from a team you're looking aging and going, you know, and maybe the McGee's not are put up against some of the best forwards, and we got to Croke Park, they were probably found out, and you're thinking, where's this team going? And now all of a sudden.
Well, we were chatting about Tyrone earlier in the year, and we were on about, you know, not having, you know, 2 men inside or 3 men inside or whatever. Donegal never do. They generally have Paddy McBurdy in there by himself, and then everything's round at angles, and, like, you know, like, when they're at their most dangerous is if they gobble you up in their own 45 and they have 50-60 metres running, like, they're going, and it's not, like, you know, with a lot of the teams there, it's predominantly your half back line, your midfielders, or your half forwards keep back. You see your likes of Paddy McGrath, Neil McGee, and just everyone just bombing. So there, you know, Frank McGinn as well. And
Thompson.
It's again, like you said, it's an embarrassment of riches that they have at the minute.
They're strong there, and like the new players that Rory got blooded this year. Dickie Rory, I think, deserves a lot of credit for the way that Donegal came on this year, because of the amount of players that they have lost.
And it's not easy to, I suppose, it's not easy, and you know, to be part of a management team, to take on the same crowd of players, become manager, and, you know, have that discipline and everything.
He's done a pretty good job, because, like, you know, the size of the character of Jim McGuinness, like, not only within that Donegal panel or within Donegal County, within Ireland, like, he's just this personality, and he's just this character, and he's a hard act to follow, like, and in fairness, like, I know that they haven't won any silverware since Rory's taken over, like, but they've been competitive. They've kept their Division 1 status, and they're coming again with a new wave of players. So they're definitely strong.
The thing, I suppose, he needs a lot of credit for, deserves a lot of credit for, is the way he's integrated the younger players. You know, because generally when you see that, I know Mickey Hart didn't really do it whenever he had a young crop in Division 1. He still kind of kept with the brigade that he knew, and, like, you know, that's because obviously Division 1 football is the most competitive you can get. Donegal did do it this year. They brought a lot of under 21s into the senior level, and they thrived on it, you know. So he deserves a lot of credit for showing the faith in them boys. But I suppose he would have known a lot of them from the time he was over the under 21s as well, you know, to say what they were going to be able to bring within a year or two coming into the senior panel.
And it's amazing, I suppose Donegal is one of the last teams really to turn over the Dubs in the championship, and you know, did it as that minor team that was fantastic that year with McBurdy and all. You know, I suppose an easy Donegal team that then turned over the Dublin and lost to Kerry. But that minor team was coming up. They've come up pretty quickly. Yeah,
it's a pretty fast turnaround now for those lads who would have been kind of probably looking up in awe at what Donegal done to Dublin that day. And I
suppose it's happened too with the amount of players that Donegal has lost. It mightn't have been that speedy if a couple of them boys had stayed about, you know, such. So I suppose
with the age of the squad and the kind of, well, by all accounts, they kind of the approach they were taking to training and different things for those few years with McGuinness, and it was unsustainable. Like, there was always going to be a massive turnover there with players, you know.
I suppose it's the call we said earlier a couple of weeks ago as well. It's the call that Rory made with in terms of letting the under 21 panel play in the McCann Cup games. I know everyone says it's McCann Cup, but, like, for them boys to be playing against senior teams for at least 3 matches and all, like, that'll bring them on, and show when they won the last Ulster as well, like, for under 21 level.
You know.
Chelsea Patrick, he thinks that McBurdy will be a loss. He says, come the latter stages, when it's more of a squad game, you're going to need more players to come off the bench.
It's a fair point. We know how good of a player he is, and he's probably only going to get better and better, I suppose, with the age he is at the minute.
That's providing they get to the latter stages.
Well, that's it, as well.
Is this the latter stage of the championship or the latter stage of a game?
Oh, either. I mean, both.
And they should probably get the latter stages of most games they play in, But but you don't know where they're going to get in the championship.
Unless it's a Glenallen game or something like that there.
Actually, that.
The referee was on their side there.
I know.
Seen that.
Three.
So yeah, and Donegal, I suppose. Then so that opens up. We all fancy Donegal then by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I think that Donegal will take them.
I think
in Ballybuffet, the record of Ballybuffet is very good. I
think I think it's going to be something like I chatted about earlier, like in terms of whenever Westmeath played the Dubs, and they had it really close, within the first 35 minutes. It'll probably be something like that there, first round championship football. But then it could be a case, second half just legs opening up, and then just maybe Donegal.
Yeah, I can see it'll be
a lot of fresh faces in the second
half. But I
half.
suppose it come back to Ulster. I think maybe if there's, we're talking about this again, and I suppose maybe a feeling that it could be the underdogs could be both convincingly beaten, but maybe I'd say to that, you see Garrod texting in there, you think of Cavan, who were competitive in the league, okay, relegated, but they were competitive, in the league to a degree. It's not that long ago since they were taking Monaghan in the semi-final replays. The top three you would probably think really are Donegal, Tyrone and Monaghan in whatever order that is. You add teams into the mix there, you add in local rivalries.
Yeah, well, Cavan took Tyrone to a replay last year, and
Tyrone that beat them
well. Beat them well, but it was still.
So again, it's probably going to be the most competitive and interesting province. Is that fair to say, Marty?
I think it probably is fair to say. I think there's more potential for more teams to win it. If you look at the other provinces, we're talking about the Dubs going for 7 in a row. And in Ulster you've had 3 different winners probably in the last 4 years. Whereas in any other provinces, maybe going back to Roscommon, maybe 2010 or 11, that has happened in Connacht, but not in the last, quarter of a century as it happened in Munster. And it's the Dubs are on 7 in a row. There hasn't been 3 teams, winning Leinster in the last 20 years probably. If there has been, it's been in the last 20 years. So that's the kind of thing you're talking about. And then you've got a Down team who were in an All-Ireland final. Well, that's a different team now, but Down were in an All-Ireland final 7 years ago now, I suppose is the right way to go. But you have Armagh who aren't going so well in the league, but they're strong, and they'll always they don't.
Again, they're fairly unfortunate not to get promoted again.
That's
very lucky last year to get relegated.
But Barry, do you find that a lot of the pundits will really, I suppose a lot of the pundits outside the 9 counties do give off about Ulster, obviously not the pundits here, but they do, and I suppose when you take, and not to focus too many on, but better the devil, with Fermanagh seem to compete better against teams outside of Ulster, basically over the last few years. So it probably shows that Ulster teams are quite well prepared coming out. Is it a jealousy factor? Are they envious of it, or what do you think?
I'm not sure. I know there's a bit of a stigma attached to some of the football up here, going back to the puke football and that kind of thing, with Pat Bland labelled it, but at the time that was a kind of a revelation what Tyrone were doing that time. It was just different, and it was just it was a strategy. It was just something that is kind of alien to the GAA, and it was a different way, a different kind of approach, which is
a lot of
just a strategy.
I suppose when you look at it, like a lot of the pundits that you're referring to, they're very nostalgic in terms of the way they want the game to be played. As such, everything has to be maybe a 40-yard kick pass, or it has to be this, that, and the other. It's not football's not like that anymore. It used to be a case years and years ago where you kick the ball 50-50 and be competing, they'd be loving that. We're now hurling exactly, Marty. But now it's a case if you realistically, whether it's club football now or whether it's inter-county football, if you give the main thing away, which is that you will get punished straight away. If you give a City turnover away, that's a point or a goal. Maybe back years ago, whenever it was the case that you did get turned over, it wasn't a case that they would probably just get the ball and maybe lace it down the pitch, and again it's another fight looking for the break ball and all that there.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be so, like, possession is massive. Now I know we're probably a wee bit kind of getting into the soccer side of things where possession is massive, so it is, but at the same time, if you're looking to make as many attacking opportunities or many scoring opportunities as you can, and the main way you do that there is by looking after number one there.
Yeah, but I think that it's hard to know, like, if there is what the kind of people, more traditional people down the country might think of Ulster football, like, but I know myself that it's fairly competitive and it can be entertaining as well. Like, offensive, it may be at times. It can be like there can be some dour matches down the country too with teams who are trying to emulate certain styles of play and just doing it badly. And there's nothing worse than watching somebody try and play a system of football and play it and do it wrong, like, or do it badly. That's terrible.
You can't say like the end of the Donegal Throne game last year wasn't exciting. Very low score game, but it had everything. Like, you know,
the last 5 minutes was good. The rest of it was, like, I don't know. That was
like, to me, like, I know it mightn't have been scoring, but it had everything. It had turnovers, it hits, it had everything. Like, it was tactical. It's interesting to see the way they're matching up with each other. It can't all just be.
I can't agree with that. Ulster final last year was.
Well, I just thought I thought finished with everything.
The last 5 minutes was very entertaining, but they should have just played for 5 minutes, because before that it was cat. Like, that was bad.
Nostalgic Marty here.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, you know, there's.
I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Like, what?
Terrible. But
right.
I agree to disagree. Jim?
Yeah, well, Niall Cox, he's with Marty in this one.
What's he saying?
He agrees with you totally with last year's final.
Yeah,
he thinks it was puke football just to watch.
It was terrible. It was a bad advertisement for Ulster, in my opinion. Whereas what Monaghan done this year against Dublin was probably a good advertisement for Ulster football, which is defensive in its, you know, outlook, definitely, but, you know, really aggressive in attacking as well. You know, whereas players are going back, but they're, you know, you're really attacking, you know, in droves, you know, aggressive attack, you know, kind of really getting out there and going forward, and it's kind
of. Did they not do that though in the Ulster final? Like, the amount of attacks that they had, but it was a case that they were getting turned over. Like, you know, it was serious. Like, you know, we had to me, I saw that as a masterclass in defence for both teams.
But Niall has wrote in, like, he's posted a few things before. He's very much anti-Tyrone's.
Yeah.
He was probably always going to.
It's hard to argue with that.
He was always going to maybe dislike what we seen last year.
Yeah. Well, it was very cagey. I thought
it was without a doubt.
You know, it was. Watching it back, if you had it recorded, you'd happily fast forwarded 65 minutes of it and watched that wee bit of ding dong at the end. You know, which was entertaining enough. Like,
Jim.
For once, I was glad to see a Tyrone win. Donegal had no intention of attacking last year, and they got exactly what they deserved.
Well, they did. In fairness, Donegal, like, I will agree with Cox in that there. Donegal, like, for the last 10 minutes of that game, they could have went for the jugular and went on the attack, and they just, I don't know if it was like through being frightened or scared to go for it and getting turned over, but they kept going to the 45 and then swinging around.
And just the Tyrone, it took two massive points
where you wouldn't you know, and you had the game that it was as well, you were surprised boys are taking those chances again, you know, but here
it was
great game.
It was a terrible game. It was a bad advertisement.
Right.
No, if you were down the country now and you're watching up there and you're like,
leave down the country alone.
No, but Ralph was talking about Chelsea looking in at Ulster football, like, that was the perfect example for them to put up on their, like, in the pub down in Meath, going, did you see the state of that Ulster final? That was like, you know, traditionalists down in Meath were looking for catching and kicking and
when you go down to Meath with your traditionalists,
I don't want that, but I'm just telling you.
Chris Colquhoun, he's read in 3 teams could genuinely win Ulster: Donegal, Monaghan and Tyrone. He says they're making it competitive to watch, and it's definitely the best promise by a mile. And this is backed up by RTE's planned coverage.
It is the most competitive province, I would say, and I'd say there's more than 3 teams could win it. You know, I think there's more likely to be a surprise package out of Ulster this year than any of the other provinces as well.
I suppose like when you look
winning it.
at the other provinces, like, you know, in terms of like, would you say, like, you wouldn't say Galway is a surprise package any longer, would you? Really down there?
No,
like,
you wouldn't. Like Galway or
and then you've your well, you'd probably have to say
Roscommon. Don't forget.
Yeah, I know. You clip
But who's your
them.
surprise package in Ulster?
Eh?
Who do you think is your surprise package in Ulster?
Can't comment.
Marty?
I would say I'd say the top three. I would say Calvin.
You want growing in this show so bad, eh?
Please come on, Joe.
On this week's match as well, Joey Burns has just said Donegal all day.
Okay then.
Yeah,
So,
I'll go for Mana.
okay, we'll have a wee flutter then. We'll wrap up this section, wrap up the show. And
Guest Duffy also says, what is that man smoking? There'll be no surprise package this year, Marty.
That's a favourite line of the okay, Jib, pick a game please and give us your result from the weekend. You can go
I'll be
ahead.
controversial and I go Monaghan.
Monaghan just a straight win, or have you a few
Monaghan win.
points?
Monaghan to win by
If we put this on the TV,
four or more.
So Monaghan -4. Why? Can you give us?
He can't.
Well,
He can't give us a result from somewhere else.
take another game.
If it's a bet, you can't.
You can't bet.
Oh, he can't bet. Sorry. Apologies.
Joey Barton.
No, you can't.
Marty, give us a
Just
result.
thought about that. That's controversial enough, eh?
I would have just said who I thought was going to win.
Well, you can tell us who you thought was going to win, and we'll put on a bet. Us three.
Aye, that's grand. I'm just going to be easy and just go Louth win.
Loud
Loud
win.
win. Marty.
Who have we got left?
You have Donegal, Antrim, Mayo, Sligo, Carlow, Wexford, Laois, Longford.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll say Laois, sure.
Laois,
For the mix it up a wee bit there, yeah.
Okay, and I go Donegal -7.
Right.
Right, Marty, let me write that down.
Sound.
Alright lads, that's it for this week. Plenty to look forward to.
Definitely.
So Barry, again, we wish you the
Good luck,
best
Barry.
of luck.
All the best, Barry.
appreciate it, Jim.
Cheering you on from the hill.
Hope you prove me better wrong.
Jib made
So
an
do I.
appearance. GWL as well, folks might be out and about this weekend, so keep an eye out for our cameras and interviews or some of these faces. Next week we have the chairman of the CPA, Micheál Brodie, on to talk us through, I suppose, the CPA, their plans for player welfare for the club players and really what they're about. So tune in next week at 7:30 to discuss that. Thanks to Jib, Barry and Marty, and we'll see you all next week.
Cheers,
Good
Roy.
night.
Good morning, Roy.
Good night.